Hello there, YouTube. Happy Sunday. This is May the 31st, and my name is Eli, and this is my fourth YouTube video. Topic: testosterone changes, and also various comments about life and such. Sunday, it's a beautiful day, or was, because the sun's starting to go down here. I went for a motorcycle ride today, which was awesome, and if anyone out there likes to talk about motorcycles, I do too. I ride a 1982 Honda CB900F, which is a great bike. It's my second bike. My first bike was an 85 Honda Rebel 250, so I made a bit of a jump up in size there. But this bike is a dreamboat. Totally a dreamboat. But I'd like to segue into my first observation, that being, my motorcycle helmet is smaller than it was last year. What is up with that, I ask you? Yeah, I just bought it last year, and as you may or may not know, motorcycle helmets do not come cheap, and so I'm a little perturbed by the fact that my helmet is fitting me quite tightly across the brow, and I'm pretty sure that my head hasn't been swelling because of all the compliments I've been receiving lately, although I did have a lovely weekend with my girlfriend, but I digress. Motorcycle helmet, smaller. Is my head getting bigger? My muscles are certainly getting bigger and denser. My pants are not fitting any differently, but my weight is increasing. I'm up to about 157, 158. Usually, well, before tea, I averaged around 150. Sometimes a little lower than that if I was like training really hard at the boxing gym or something, or going through a very stressful period. But yeah, my weight's climbing up, and my clothes aren't fitting any differently. So I can only assume that it's my muscle density increasing, which is adding on to the number on the scale. What else? My libido is still very healthy. As mentioned, had a great weekend. And what else? I'm just gonna look at my little list here. In terms of hair growth, haven't noticed anything really remarkable. Maybe the hair on my calves is getting a bit denser, but generally nothing to report there. Might have a little more mustache action going on. I've always had a bit of a stash, but it tends to get bleached out in the summer and is inconsequential. So, I don't know, we'll see. My dose right now, I'm getting 0.5 milliliters every 2 weeks, so that's 100 milligrams every 2 weeks, which I know compared to some fellas is a bit on the low side. But it's working fine for me, mostly because I'm really in no rush for changes, and also because I identify as a genderqueer person as well as a transgender person. I like the ambiguity, the androgyny of lower dose, lower change. Yeah, in fact, my end goal is not necessarily to become a dude who passes 100% of the time. That for me politically, that's not necessarily where I'm at. I completely respect the guys who are after that. I think it's wonderful, whatever anyone's doing on this trip, this testosterone trip. But for me personally, I'm not really interested in losing all of my feminine qualities, and I'm also not interested in necessarily passing 100% of the time. If I do, great. If I don't, though, it doesn't really upset me. I mean, of course, this opens the door for other complicated things like, which bathroom should I use? Should I use the women's or the men's? But I think no matter what political stance one takes when one is making this transition, that might be an issue, regardless. Just gonna look at my list again. Body fat redistribution. Could it be happening this early on? I'm at 5 weeks and 2 days into my transition. So I don't know, it might be a bit early to be seeing that, but everyone goes at a different rate. So maybe I am noticing a little bit off my hips. I don't know. Don't want to stop chatting because dead air is no fun. Libido mentioned that. Oh, my nether regions. My nether region, the particular nether region that tends to enlarge when one is on testosterone, is definitely enlarging. Yep. Which makes riding a bicycle occasionally slightly more of an interesting experience than it has been in the past. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. My skin is still fine. Tendency towards a little bit drier than normal, so I'm having to moisturize. Not necessarily my face. My face is pretty steady, but my my arms and legs. I don't know if it's just the change in season or the air in my apartment's really dry, but having to moisturize. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience. Instead of going oilier, I'm going drier. Increasing, well, this kind of goes along with the muscle thing, is that I've been exercising more, and whoa, so good for my head. I've always found exercise to be a real place of solace for me, and a place where I really feel in my body and present all the time. And just last week, I took up rowing again. There's a club here that has a very casual rowing club, and when I was living on the East Coast, it's 4 or 5 years ago now that I rowed there, but I rowed for a season, and it was so awesome that once I stopped there and moved from the East Coast to where I'm living now, I missed it terribly. And I always thought it was like financially out of my reach, because usually rowing clubs are super expensive, but this one is affordable and it's close to my work, and the people are nice, and I'm really excited. So I'll be updating that, because rowing is such a great full body workout. I'm also training at a boxing gym and riding my bicycle daily and trying to run semi-regularly, although I must admit that running is my least favorite exercise, unless I'm running after a soccer ball or a rugby player. But alas, due to sports injury, neither soccer nor rugby are on my list of doable sports anymore. So I find other things to do. I'd also really like to start rock climbing, but there's only so many hours in the day, and yeah. So I guess 5 weeks, 2 days into transition, and I'd really love to hear other people's motorcycle stories, if you want to comment, or just other people's comments in general. And if you don't want to, that's cool too. I hope everyone out there is doing well, and I look forward to sending you more videos as time goes by. Take care.